everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of C14 Dating. So, we are at the point where Sherry is kind of cautious about leaving Melissa alone alone at the museum. I can't talk. And we're asking Hendrik if he wants to stay, so we're going to go ahead and accept the offer. And we've already seen this entire cutscene in Joan's route, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. I admit, it had been a while since I had a hypoglycemic episode, and it would be comforting to have someone occupying the same building. It wasn't babysitting, it was simply an extra precaution, I reminded myself. Besides, Hendrik did say that he could finish more work. Maybe I could brush up on my geology education too. I also wasn't looking forward to doing another sleepless experience. Who knew a museum could feel so eerie at night? You said it was no trouble, right? Then I'd appreciate it if you stayed the weekend. Cole. I'm glad that we have this situation sorted out. Augustin walked through the entrance, announcing that he locked up everything, save for the back and front door.
All done. Now, has the discussion been settled?
Augustin had been in the same room briefly when Sherry first addressed me. Therefore, he had the gist of the situation. It has. Hendrik has offered to stay.
Not a bad decision. He is behind on his work. Again, sorry about that. I'll catch up now.
Then I'll see you Monday morning, Melissa. Hendrik. Right. Take care, Sherry. Bye, Augustin. Sherry grabbed her purse and walked out while Augustin followed. He lingered by the door, his eyes sparkling mischievously.
It might be a good thing for you to spend some quality time with a cute girl. Nuncle, you know me.
The chief archaeologist laughed and closed the lab door, while Hendrik rubbed the back of his head, embarrassed.
Senile old man, you're a student here, not... Sorry about that.
It's fine. What's the work you're behind on anyway? Sitting back down, he rolled the office chair to his laptop and rested his hand on the mouse.
Just some documents from last year that I still need to get around to.
He made a few clicks opening up an application I wasn't familiar with.
I work here exclusively during the summer, so things can pile up quickly.
Hendrik instantly brightened like a child as he whirled toward me.
I'm updating the microstratigraphy log now that I've got some new dates established. Want to see?
Sure. What is it exactly?
Behold the entire strata of Grottekellen.
He opened up a huge visual diagram. One side was colorful, all earth tones, with various dots and gray spots of various sizes. It took me a moment to realize that I was looking at all of the layers documented. The top had a cavern picture, including a cute bat and speleothems. Each sediment had its own assigned identification and information blurb. And that was just the stuff going back to 40,000 years ago. Whoa, can you scroll down? I want to see where I'm excavating.
Layer name?
I'm almost done with 3CL.
So you're roughly around 120,000 mark. Closer to the end of the Eemian period, depending on who you ask. Either way, it's still interglacial sediments. Summers were dry and warm, winters mild, with temperate and boreal trees. It was forested then. Gets cooler around, there, the 130,000 mark. The 130,000 mark, the beginning of the early Eemian period. There's a surge of pine and spruce in the pollen counts.
The cursor circled the indicated spot.
Tons of clay layers. You'll have fun when you get to those. I didn't bore you, did I?
Of course not. Actually, to be honest, I was surprised that you knew so much about pollen counts. That doesn't seem geology-ish.
Palynology isn't my strong point, but it's useful when applied in geology, like geochronology and archaeology, climate change, etc. on there. You pick up the interdisciplinary sciences as you go. If anything, I'm better at compiling the data. I leave the biased stuff to the real experts. Now, the stuff I focus on are in situ, and I reworked paleosals along with...
There was a low grumble, and I turned away from the computer screen. He chuckled and clicked out of the program. Since the students left, dinner was not served, and it was getting closer to the time that I should be eating.
It's probably for the best if we stop here. I tend to get wrapped up in my work. I hope I didn't talk your ear off.
No, I'll be pestering you all weekend about this type of stuff. You won't mind, right? The internship provided me with opportunities to converse with people of various expertise. How could I pass it up?
By all means, you're a student here too. Wait. If I'm staying here, I should pick up some stuff from my place. And food. I can't eat the leftovers here.
He walked over to the lab entrance and grabbed his keys off a small peg set.
Are you in the mood for spaghetti? I'm not an amazing cook, but I already have the ingredients back home, and I can make it here, if you don't mind waiting a little longer.
Yes, I love spaghetti.
Then before I go, is there anything you avoid eating? Allergies, diet restrictions?
I'm pretty flexible when it comes to food, but I don't eat red meat.
Duly noted. Back in a bit, Melissa.
With a jingle of his keys, he departed, leaving me to my own devices. I'll keep myself busy for now. A while later, Hendrik was making the sauce in a large skillet, stirring in basil and crushed tomatoes. The garlic cloves smelt heavenly. I was across the counter, elbows propped up while I watched him. I thought you said you weren't great at cooking.
This is a 4-ingredient sauce. I hardly think it counts as anything above beginner level.
5 if you count the salt and pepper. Or would that be 6?
My word, a 6-ingredient pasta sauce? I'm moving up in the culinary strata. I hope you don't mind a meatless sauce, though.
Vegetarian?
For a while now. You? Or do you only avoid red meat?
You could call me a semi-vegetarian. I avoid meat when I can.
The lazy vegetarian diet?
More like I avoid meat, but I won't say no to Grandma's yearly Christmas steak. Don't want to break her heart after all the effort she put into our meals.
Some of my family members were baffled when I started making the switch. My old Boma would be all, back in my day, we slathered everything in butter and deep fried it. And that was the way we liked it.
Boma? What's your surname again?
Louis Kinhuis, I don't know. I'm from the Flanders region. Flemish, Belgian Dutch is spoken there. Augustin is my mother's brother if you're trying to figure out family relations.
Makes sense. And you know all 3 languages?
That and some German. Very meager, though. I got my Master's of Science in Geology in Germany, and only English knowledge was required.
Geez, you're quite accomplished. That's wow.
No need to flatter me. I don't think I'm that... Oh, shit, it's burning.
He quickly removed the skillet and placed it on a wooden platform, followed by a boiled pot of pasta. Grabbing the creased rag, he waved away the thick white smoke, then mustered up a sheepish smile. Smooth.
Well, let's pretend you're still impressed, and bon appetit, shall we?
The sauce was a tinge garlicky, but I ate it without complaint. It was a refreshing change from weekend leftovers, and I was grateful for his generosity. We ate outside, focusing on our meals too much to talk. When I was done, I set the fork down on the plate with a clank, drawing Hendrik's attention.
You sure were famished. What are your plans now?
Sleep, hit the books, offer to do the dishes. Let's do the dishes. I'll do the dishes. It's only fair since you made us dinner.
You sure?
Of course. Let me return the favor. You did more than your share. Besides, wouldn't you like to return to your work ASAP? He averted his gaze, confirming I was right, as he found the offer too enticing to protest.
Then, if you wouldn't mind.
Cramming the remaining pasta into his mouth, he stood up, chewing frantically. After arranging the fork on the plate, he casually passed it over, then cleared his throat.
Thanks, Melissa. I admit that's one of the drawbacks of living alone. You can't divide up the chores.
He headed for the museum entrance. I let out a hopeless sigh, but my lips curled into a faint smile. Really, Plates in hand, I transferred all of the utensils, including the skillet and pot. When I was done washing, I grabbed my pajamas and other belongings from the tent and trooped up to the second floor of the building. As I got ready for bed, I wondered where Hendrik would spend the night, most likely downstairs. The laboratory was spacious if you moved the tables. At least, I wouldn't have to worry about ghosts tonight. The wooden stairs were cold against my bare feet as I stepped down on the creaky panels. Sleepily rubbing one eye, I stopped in front of the lab door. After combing my hair with my fingers to give me a half-decent appearance, I opened the door, crack, and peered inside. Hendrik, you up? The lights were on. I opened the door completely and stepped into the room. I spotted Hendrik slumped over his laptop, a few fingers resting on the keyboard. His face was obscured behind his arm, but it was evident he was sleeping. You didn't go to bed at all, did you? I quietly approached him and raised a hand, wondering if I should tap him on the shoulder to wake him up. Maybe it was better if I left him. Wake him up, let him wake up on his own, make coffee first. No, we're gonna make coffee first. I think coffee will be a perfect wake-up call. Besides, he did mention the disadvantages of living at home alone. Maybe it'd be welcoming to wake up to some fresh coffee already made for a change. I didn't know what he preferred, but I reckoned regular old black coffee was a safe bet. I went into the outdoor kitchen and examined the coffee machine to determine its complexity. Delighted that it used coffee pods, I picked a dark roast from the capsule holder and prepared a single cup. When I returned, I pushed the keyboard out of the way and then gently shook Hendrik's shoulder. He let out a lazy yawn as he sat up. Once I set the mug down, his eyes lit up with interest and he glanced in my way. Morning, I thought you'd like a pick-me-up. Sorry, I wasn't sure what you wanted, so it's plain black. He smiled and gingerly hooked a finger through the handle.
It's perfect. I like my coffee how I like my job. Dark and dirty.
He grinned proudly to himself as I rolled my eyes at his joke. He then swiveled the chair in my direction.
Thanks, Melissa. I really needed that. I practically passed out.
Were you able to finish some stuff?
We'll find out once I start reviewing it.
After a tiny sip, he set the coffee down and navigated the mouse. Pages and pages of the letter M and commas. I don't think the Royal Society of Archaeology would accept this. While he corrected his work, I made a caramel macchiato and settled in one of the chairs positioned at the center table. We made small talk while we enjoyed our drinks, mostly about work he'd accomplished, or not, and how Hendrik never found the museum that creepy at night. What? You mean you never experienced the sounds of someone slowly walking up the stairs and then stopping?
You don't seem like someone who'd be terrified of ghosts.
I was honestly never scared of ghosts until now. I'm blaming your uncle and his Wrath of the Neanderthal joke.
If anything was haunting this museum, it'd be all of the cave bears we dug up.
He set the empty mug down next to his computer.
I'm going for a shower. Even a geologist likes to be dirt-free once in a while.
As long as you don't steal all the hot water. It's my one luxury when everyone's gone.
No, 20-minute showers. Gotcha.
Standing up, he set his laptop to sleep mode. As he walked down the hallway, I whimsically swiveled my chair toward the table. My eyes fell on a bright green bottle next to a small bag. Judging by the washcloth folded beside it, I grabbed the bottle, briefly scanned the contents before bolting out of my chair. Hendrik, you forgot your shampoo. Peering around the corner, he already had a towel thrown over his shoulder. I tossed the bottle underhandedly and he caught it with ease.
Oh, thanks. You just spared me a potentially awkward moment there.
No prob.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.